In a small town, there lived a father and son. The son, Tom, had just started primary school. He was smart but a little mischievous. One day, Tom returned home dejected. "Did you encounter any unhappiness at school today?" Tom pouted and said, "Dad, the teacher asked a question today, but I answered it wrong, and my classmates laughed at me." Dad took Tom's hand and sat on the sofa. "It's okay, son. Can you tell Dad what the problem is?" The teacher asked. "There are 10 birds on the tree, and the hunter shot and killed one. How many are left?" I said, "9 left, but my classmates laughed at me for being stupid." Dad smiled and didn't provide the answer directly, but asked him back, "Then think about it now. What will happen after the hunter shoots?" Tom frowned and thought for a while, and suddenly his eyes lit up. "Well, I know, Dad. Other birds will be scared away after the hunter shoots, so there are no more left." Dad touched Tom's head and said approvingly, "Yes, son, but you answered 9 before, which is also right." Tom's eyes widened with his face full of doubts. "Dad, how could this be right?" Dad smiled and said, "Time 1 is indeed equal to 9. But we have to think about the problem based on the actual situation. Just like many things in our life, sometimes we can't just limit ourselves to one answer." Tom nodded. Dad said again, "Let me ask you another question. There is a deep well, and the snail is at the bottom of the well. He climbs up 3 meters during the day and slides down 2 meters at night, and the well is 10 meters deep. How many days will it take for the snail to climb out of the well?" Tom immediately refreshed himself and picked up a pen to draw on paper. After a while, he looked up and said, "Dad, I figured it out. It should be 8 days." The dad asked, "How did you calculate it?" Tom explained excitedly. "The snail actually climbs up 1 meter every day, but by the 7th day, he has already climbed 7 meters. On the 8th day, he climbs up another 3 meters during the day, and he has already climbed out of the well and will not slide again." Dad gave a thumbs up happily. "Son, you are awesome. You see, this is the charm of thinking about problems, considering all situations comprehensively." A few days later, Tom came home from school and happily said to his father, "Dad, the teacher raised another question today, but I answered it first." Dad asked curiously, "What's the problem?" Tom said proudly, "The teacher asked, if you cut a large watermelon into 4 knives, how many pieces can you cut it into at most? I think 1 knife can divide the watermelon into 2 pieces. 2 knives can be divided into up to 4 pieces. 3 knives can be divided into up to 7 pieces. And then 4 knives can be divided into up to 15 pieces." Dad smiled heartily. "Son, you've really learned how to think, which is more important than getting a question right." From then on, when Tom encountered problems in his studies and life, he would think of his father and learn to think from different angles.